Laura Scott, President of Wubbers Jewelry Making Tools. Thank you for joining us today to learn how to make this lovely little heart pendant. Tools you'll need include the Wubbers ring and hoop press. This is the transverse 24. You can choose any pattern that you'd like. Some wire cutters. Your Wubbers teardrop mandrel pliers. These are the smalls. A weighted rawhide mallet. 20 gauge Argentium sterling wire. And a 3.5 millimeter Argentium jump ring. First, we're going to take our 20 gauge Argentium wire and we're going to wrap it around one of the sides of the press. Now when I remove this, it's going to kind of come apart, and that's okay. It's okay to have a wider circle. Just kind of hold your finger where you need to remember to cut it. And we're going to trim off our extra. Now I'm going to form that circle a little more and slide it into our press on the outer, let it rest against the outer edges of the press. And if it's not quite to the edge, I'm going to push it out just a little bit so we get that nice even pattern throughout it. Now I'm going to put the top on, get my weighted rawhide mallet and hammer. Look at that, very pretty. Nice pattern throughout there. Now just unroll this. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Now I'm going to take my teardrop pliers and I want to start, I'm going to leave about 1/2 inch maybe hanging off the edge there, and I'm just going to press and let that shape around my mandrels. I'm going to wrap around, come behind that first piece, press, come around one more time, and press. I'm going to slide that off. And so I'm going to lay this here so you can kind of see how we're starting to get, there's a teardrop shape. That's beautiful. It almost looks like a tulip. Now I'm going to take these pieces and I'm just going to pull them apart, and you'll start to see how the heart starts to form. I'm going to spread those out and you can see how that heart is starting to form. Now if I'm not going to fuse, Argentium, I like to use Argentium because it's easy to fuse, but if you're not going to fuse and you can simply trim off your extra, and then you can use some round nose pliers, and you can come and just curl your ends in. And you can design this any way you want. You can keep curling them, make them real nice and rounded. I'm going to straighten this out a little bit. You could just use a smaller gauge wire and wire wrap those two pieces together to have a heart pendant. But for today, I'm going to go ahead and show you how we did do this heart right here. I'm going to trim off my extra. Make sure I get that flush cut on the sides so that I can align them when I go to fuse. And then I would take this over to my soldering board, make sure it's nice and flat. Your two sides are going to meet nice. And then I used a 3.5 millimeter jump ring. It's also made out of Argentium. And we're just going to fuse all those pieces together, and that's your basic outline of your heart pendant. You can either choose to have it, leave it how it is, or hang a pretty dangle in the center. But it really just is a nice, elegant piece, and that Wubbers ring and hoop press just really makes that extra touch to stand out. So if you'd like to learn more of how to use your Wubbers ring and hoop press, visit us at wubbersu.com and like us on Facebook.